Hello guys, welcome to another video on this channel. Today we are going to look at how to do different scrolling on Figma, both horizontal and vertical scrolling, and even scrolling with sticky headers. So as you can see, I can do this horizontal scrolling here where I'm displaying two cards. I can show the one on the right and the one on the left, so I can scroll both to the left and the right. And I can also do vertical scrolling where I scroll to see the remaining parts of this page at the bottom, right? And as you can see, as I'm scrolling, this header is staying in place, right? We're also going to check how to make this header to stay in place and not scroll with the rest of the content on the screen. So without saying too much, let's get into the video. Alright, so as you can see on this page, I have two screens basically to explain this. Although I could have used this one screen, but I also want to show you that you can do the same on different other things, not just cards like this. So I have another horizontal scrolling for this header for this tabs here. So if I scroll like this, you can see I can review more tabs from this settings page. So let's get started. So now the first thing, let's start from here. So the first thing we do is I want to believe that you already know how to create this kind of interface, so I don't have to go over that. So majorly what we want to know is what we want to do is, first of all, you want to make sure that the major screen or the major frame that's carrying the entire content is not set to clip content, right? The clip content is always going to be marked, but you can unclip it. So when you unclip it, it will help you to see anything that is overflowing. So this thing basically is an auto layout frame, right? This is an auto layout frame that is carrying this. So let me bring it out so that you can see it better. So this is an auto layout frame that is carrying all of these tabs, right? But the one thing that is very unique here is that there are some parts that are overflowing out of the auto layout frame. So what I did is, after making this auto layout frame to wrap all of this content, then you now manually adjust it. Manually adjust it so that it will now match the width of the page that you want to place it, right? So, and then another thing is, you have to make sure that the alignment of the items inside the auto layout is on the left, although this is as the case may be, right? But in my case, I want them to scroll from the left to the right, so that's why I'm starting from the left. If I place it on the right, you can see it doesn't mean that they won't still be able to scroll from left to right, but it will start from the it will place the items in the middle, right? So I will have items overflowing on the left and on the right, and if I place it to the right, I'm also going to start from the last item here, but I want it to start from the first item. That's why I align it to the left. So after manually adjusting it, if you don't want to manually adjust it by just dragging the edge like this, by just dragging the edge of the auto layout frame. So if you don't want to manually adjust it by just dragging the edge of the auto layout frame, trying to drag this auto layout frame, but it's increasing the space. Okay, let me just hold back. So if you don't want to manually drag it like this, you can get the measurement of the space that you want to place it in the screen. So like this one, the space I want to use is 342, although I set it to fill because there's another container that is carrying the helping me control it, so it makes it easier. So if I just come here, if I like, I can set it. If I set it to hug, I won't be able to scroll, right? But if I just set it to fill, as long as I don't click content, as long as I don't do this, I will still see the overflow, right? I'll still be able to see the overflow, but I can still clip it. If I clip it, it will not affect what I want to do. But the only thing that will not make this thing to work is if this thing is set to hug, right? If you set it to hug, then we'll be able to scroll, and I'll show you now. So when we want to apply this scrolling effect now, we'll switch to prototype mode, and you look at this position, then overflow. Now the overflow means, for overflow, how do you want to scroll it? That's the meaning, right? Scroll behavior, can you see? So if I want to do vertical scrolling, that means I want to scroll it vertically, right? But if I want to do horizontal scrolling, I can do both directions too, right? But in this case, we want to do horizontal scrolling. So I'm going to leave it as horizontal scrolling, but you can see that it's showing a small um alert here, or kind of like an error, so you can see what's written here. For scrolling to work on this frame, the content needs to be bigger than the frame, right? So which is why I said you must have an overflow. So the content inside the auto layout must be more than the size of the auto layout itself. So hug will never work in this case. So I'm going to set it to fill. So once I set it to fill and come back, you can see that we no longer have that notification here. Now we can easily scroll. So if I now switch, if I preview this page, I can easily scroll horizontally, right? So and the same approach is applied. So let's come back here for a bit. Like, you can see that I have this overflow. So if I don't want it to show, I can either decide to clip it here. I can decide to clip this one, or I just clip the entire. But if I clip it, it won't give the user the idea that this thing is scrollable, because you can see, because of the padding of this container that is carrying it, that's carrying the auto frame, it's going to clip. It's going to show that something is cutting out here. So, but for good user experience, it's better to leave it like this, then clip it from outside here. So if I clip it from here now it just gives a continuous look that, okay, yes, I have this, then I can easily scroll, right? So that's the way it works, right? And that's the only way it will make sense in this case, actually. So now let's come to this page. The same approach is applied here. As you can see, if I click on this and switch to prototype, you see the scrolling. Let me select the frame. So this is the frame that's carrying it. You can see it's on horizontal. You can see that on this frame as well, I did not clip it, because if I clip it, it will not give the user an idea that something else is on this side of the page, right? But if I unclip it, it's going to show that there's another card here, or there's something here. So, and it is just out of curiosity that the user will just scroll it, because based on the user experience, it will just make them know that they have to move it, right? They just try to drag it and they just see that it works, and that's it. So that's the whole idea of doing it this way, and not clipping it at this point, but clipping it at the major screen level, right? So now, so the same approach I apply to the tabs here is the same approach here. So now, and you can see this one too can also scroll vertically, right? So this this frame this one has vertical scrolling, can you see? And that's because there is an overflow. So let me include the frame so that you see the overflow. Can you see? This is overflowing to the bottom of the page. So some people show the entire screen maybe for development purposes, right? But if you want to do if you want to do prototyping and present the design, it's always nice to leave it as the major side of the screen that you're designing for on mobile, and then let's apply the vertical scrolling effect so that you'll be able to scroll it, right? And you clip it so it looks more like it looks more realistic than having a long frame, right? Because if I set this to hug, no, if I set to drag it to show the entire part, you see that I have a very long screen, even though it will still not show as long, because if I as long as that on this frame, because if I am using mobile this mobile mock-up frame that Figma has to, or I mean mobile device to show my prototype, I won't have any reason. But on websites, sometimes if you don't want if you don't want to use if you don't want to use major the major device mockups to present, sometimes you might have to just cut it out, right? In fact, unless you're going to cut it out actually, because you can scroll vertically easily. But on mobile, if I just want to make sure that this is what is showing, how the screen is supposed to look like on the mobile device, then I have to cut it out, right? So um so for this to stay in place and not move, I mean this other for it to stay in place and not move, um there's this other effect, I mean, that you can add to Sigma, I mean, to in the scrolling behavior, the position settings, right? So as you can see, this position setting is all the default one will be scroll with parents, right? And this one is also on scroll with parent. But when I scroll, okay, let me adjust the size of this page, right, like this. So but when I scroll on the prototype like this, and this thing is, you can see that it's not like this entire screen did not scroll, but only this one did not scroll. This one is just staying at the top, and it's not like it didn't even move. It moved a bit, but when it got to the top, it stopped. So what I did here is that, because I want this thing to be sticky, right? To be fixed at the top, especially these two, because I wanted to be fixed at the top, right? And that was why I set it to sticky. So the position is sticky, not fixed. When you set it to fixed, it doesn't move at all. But when you set it to sticky, it stops right at the top, at the edge of the page, and that is what we want to achieve. And that's why I put two of them together in a frame. Then I set it to sticky. So that if I do this vertical scrolling, scroll it a bit, but when it gets to the better part of the header, especially these tabs, community feed and dashboard tab, it stops, right? It stops, and the rest of the page is scrolling under it. So and sometimes while you are doing this, the arrangement of the auto layout too can also affect how you scroll. Although this is not an auto layout, right? So I don't really have an issue. I just need to arrange it so that this one is placed at the top of every other thing. But assuming you are using an auto layout, if you are using auto layout, there's always going to be the issue of if you're using an auto layout for the entire frame, you always have this issue. So let me convert this to auto layout so that you see. So let's let's see, maybe okay, you can see what I'm saying. You can see this issue of things scrolling on top of each other, and that's because of the arrangement of the auto layout frame. So what I'll do in this case is I'll click it and come to the settings of the auto layout. Then I'll set the canvas stacking to first on top and not last on top. So once I do it like that, this one is the first one inside this auto layout, then it will stay at the top. Then I can be able to scroll just the same way I was doing for the normal frame, right? So yeah, that's it basically. So I'm going to clip this content back into this page so that it looks nice and clean. So I hope this helps you. I hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please kindly drop a like, or if you have any question, drop a comment and I'll respond to your comments. And yeah, if you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly do so. I will see you in the next video.